Each student's experience may vary depending on the institution. While our visitation in Ecuador, we visited 3 universities: Universidad de Azahuay, Universidad de Cuenca, and Universidad Nacional de Educación. While attending the Universidad de Cuenca, we were able to speak with students one-on-one. I spoke with a student named Jessica, who was 23 and was a psychology major. She mentioned that her school is more of a commuter campus. There are no activities that keep students on campus, and she was involved in student government because she wanted to change that dynamic. She also was involved in volunteering, but was something that she did off campus. She wants to make a change where students can feel more comfortable starting their own student organization or being more involved through the institution. Alexander Astin states in his journal, Student Involvement, A Development Theory for Higher Education, that student involvement refers to the quantity and quality of the physical and psychological energy that students invest in the college experience. Such involvement may include academic work, participation in extracurricular activities, and interaction with faculty and other institutional personnel. According to the theory, the greater the student's involvement in college, the greater will be the amount of student learning and personal development. That being said, I believe that the Universidad de Cuenca should implement new forms of student involvement and engagement so students can have a more welcoming atmosphere, so they can stay on campus and they have more opportunity to learn from either their peers or the faculty. Student success can be defined in many ways, but from my personal observation in Ecuador, student success is the attendance and completion of students' career path, meaning students are able to find a job after graduation to help their family and the community. During our visitation of Sarai, a foundation for international programs, we had a conference about the focus of education reform with Augusta Zehonio. She talked about Ser Bachiller, which is an exam that all students must take. And once the students complete the exam, they must select 5 choices: where they want to attend, when they want to attend, what subject of learning, and what schedule. This information is then shared with each university the student selects in their admission process. Normally, 24% of students do not get accepted into their first choice. Augusta mentioned that she has encountered students who's gotten depressed because they did not get into the career they wanted. And there aren't any ways to change the major or path without starting over again. This examination has brought many complications for students because from the very beginning, they must know what career path they would like. In the U.S., there is more flexibility in changing paths, but in Ecuador, it is a great ordeal for students to change. Latinx culture is very family-orientated. Students may feel that they have let their families down if they were not able to get the career path that their families had in mind. This may be a huge psychological struggle for students as well. Ecuador's higher education reform was originally introduced by Rafael Correa when he was elected president. He successfully got a new national constitution adopted in 2018, which determined that public education from the lowest to the highest levels would be free to Ecuadorian citizens. This changed the funding and administration to complete dependency on the central government, including budget allocations, student admissions, and administration. When we were first introduced to Ecuador's higher education reform, we learned from Van Hoof that faculty were having major difficulties with the change. In August 2010, the higher education law was adapted. This law was made to increase regulation of the country's universities by increasing accountability to the central government and by bringing their research and education efforts in line with the country's social and economic development needs. They created 3 national institutions to oversee the country's institutions of higher education. This includes Tennessee, which we had an opportunity to visit. These institutions approve new degree programs, regulate student admissions, distribute state appropriations to the public universities, stimulate research activities, and accreditate existing academic programs and universities. Originally, faculty members had to have a master's or PhD by 2017. While in Ecuador, we learned that the deadline was now extended to 2020, which, in my opinion, is still not enough time for faculty members to either get a master's or PhD, since they do not offer a PhD in most of the country. During our visitation of the Universidad de Cuenca, this is the facility that was demonstrated to us. It's an area that is focused just specifically on research, where they specifically talk about how to help their communities. My favorite takeout moment in my visitation in Ecuador would have to be the zoo that was located near Cuenca. This zoo was more than just any typical zoo here in the United States. It really demonstrated what the Buen Vivir plan was and how Ecuador is trying to improve their country. They demonstrated sustainability and showed to people throughout the zoo that it is important to take care of their creatures, to take care of their land, to take care of their people. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen from a zoo that I could ever see. Ecuador has given me something that I didn't think I was going to get. It made me realize what career path that I was interested in. I am more interested now in international studies and advising, and it's really helped me develop in my career path, as well as make me a better leader for future students. I generally would like to thank our faculty for allowing us to be on this trip, because it allowed me to grow as a person and it allowed me to venture out to new things. Thank you so much for your time and have a good day.